G'day guys, my name's Josh. You can call me JaWoodle, and welcome back to 7 Days to Die in Alpha 18, where I am back in JaWoodle Park 2 to do some more base building and testing. And today is important because today I'm actually going to be doing something that you guys have been requesting in the comments for a while. There's a couple of different base designs and ideas that have been thrown around and suggested a bunch of times, and finally I'm going to get around to doing one of them. And it's actually something that kind of plays on something I've worked with before, that being the wedge tips here, the steep wedge tips, and the fact that both I and therefore zombies cannot get a grip on steep wedge tips. But I'll come back to that and explore it more, well, somewhere else in the park, probably down there in the rest of my flat building area. But before I can go off and build some lovely things, I need to go, as always, into the Hall of Legends and thank 3 more superstars for supporting me and making all of this possible. And today we are thanking Devlin M, Nicholas G, and Alex VS. So thank you guys, and thank you everyone else. Those are your places up on the wall. Enjoy your time in the Hall of Legends. I know I do every time I go in there. All right, God, it's getting pretty. It's gonna look very big when I finish the extra extension on the other end. There, you can see the limits of the construction zone. When I put a whole nother wing onto that thing, that's gonna be quite the monolith of construction. But whatever, that's later Josh's problem. That's who cares. We make the world unstable and that many blocks that the game just freaks out because I'm trying to render so many different things. Who gives a shit? Let's just keep on going, keep on building, let the game sort it out later. But this looks like a pretty good spot to start building. I'll start off with kind of like the basic base, like kind of show how the mechanics work, as I usually do with these kind of things, and I'll take that idea and try and implement it into something that's a little bit more useful. You're probably noticing right away that it's being built in pretty much the same way I've built a lot of other designs here, and there's a pretty good reason for that, even though it's not specifically my idea. I mean, I've seen this idea being posted in the comments, on Twitter. It's been tweeted at me a bunch, on Reddit as well, a bunch of different places I've seen this kind of idea being bantered around. So I don't actually know whose specific idea this was to start with. I mean, it's kind of like, I'm not going to take credit for it, but it's kind of based on what I've built before, and you'll kind of see that design similarities are all there, but it's not my complete design. I don't know who came up with it, so whoever did it, thank you for making it, I guess, and everyone who told me about it, thank you for telling me about it. But it's a very similar vein to everything else I've built. You have the stairs on one end, you have a passage leading to you, and you have a way to stop the zombies in between. Traditionally, I have used drops like these things pretty extensively. I've used all sorts of different kinds of drops. This one's a little bit different because this one's like, imagine putting like a baby down to sleep. Yeah, instead of, you got the baby in your arms and you're like kind of laying it down in the mattress. This one's the kind of gentle action of doing it. You know, you don't want to hurt the baby, so just gonna drop it in nice and gently, as opposed to these ones, which is essentially turning the baby upside down, hanging it by its ankles, and dropping it from about 6 feet and just seeing what happens on the other end. So this one's a little bit more like barbaric, I suppose, a little bit like, you know, more risky, and there's all sorts of things that go with the zombies when you start dropping from heights, like their damage everything mode, their rage mode. So this is designed to stop that from happening. And what you do is you get your wedge tips and you go all the way around like this, as we have many times before. I just went past the one I needed, so I keep on going, and you go like that, and you make yourself a little pinnacle right on the nipples, right up the top there, just like that, all along there, and you extend that all the way down to the ground. I'm gonna need some normal wedges to go with this as well, so we go like this, and we go copy rotation, and go underneath like that, and we're also gonna need some more blocks underneath. It's gonna be a solid design all the way down to the deck, and all the way down like that. So you can see it makes like a giant zombie slip and slide, something nice and smooth for them to fall down. Because apparently, I mean, well, that's what people are telling me in the comments. Apparently, if they don't actually have that drop, if they don't like leave the ground and plonk down somewhere else, they don't go into destroy everything mode. So that's what I'm here to find out, if that is actually the case. Gonna need a couple more blocks on the bottom down here. I don't have enough to go another full set, so just a little set like that. We'll make sure all our aesthetics line up and paint it like this. I might even paint this a different color, given that this is like the mechanism of the base, but that is the general idea. You do that on both sides, and that's supposed to stop the zombies from getting cranky. So this is the closest closest I can kind of get to the several images I have on my phone that I've had sent to me of this base. And you can see it does take after a lot of the other things I've built before, like that kind of standard like flared pyramid stairs that I do all the time. This one here that I've been putting on bases for a long time, it's got that one at the bottom of it, which is good because it, you know, handles the zombies rather well. I talk about how the stairs are better than ramps all the time. You can make the ramps work fine. I just prefer the stairs because I've had far less trouble with the stairs over the journey. And the whole idea here is that it's just like, it's an infinite loop to catch the zombies into. So kind of like a shorter version of the killing corridor, but the way that I've had this described to me is it's not actually a killing corridor at all. There's no killing involved here. All they do is they run up here, turn around, come up the top, try and get to you, slide down the side a little bit faster than that, I hope, and then do the loop all over again. They never drop, so they never go and destroy anything. It's supposed to be like an even lower maintenance version of everything else that I've built, which hopefully will work. Whoever actually came up with this, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. I couldn't find, I did some Googling and some research, I couldn't find who came up with this originally. So if someone wants to tell me who it is, I'll gladly put it into a pinned comment, because I am a big was an activist, I suppose, or a propagator. I'm not sure what the actual word is. I believe that people should get credited for the work they do. So whoever it was, please let me know so I can give you the credit that you deserve for coming up with this this tweak on the design, or this iteration of the design, I guess. But hopefully it'll work out reasonably well. But as I always say, there is only one way to know for sure, and that is to get Chelsea to do all of our hard work for us. So Chelsea's get a couple of you out there, get your attention, turn on your AI. Alright, what's gonna happen here? I want to see if it actually works as well as people claim. I mean, mostly. I mean, look, this is, what's this, 6 blocks wide, I think it is? So it's not the full, like, I usually do 4, so I could go out to 8 sometimes. It's not the full, like, kit and beans, but it's still working reasonably well. They do kind of get caught in each other here and there and try and make the jump. But, I mean, for all intents and purposes, that's working just fine. Oh, she took a swing. Let's get some more Chelsea. Let's try and see if we can overload it with a bunch of cheerleaders. I mean, so I think it depends on where I stand as well. So they're favoring the right side. Piss off, please. They're favoring the right side because I'm standing on the right side. If I stand right in the middle here, is that going to give them a better option to kind of like split down the middle? Looks like they're still favoring the right-hand side. Interesting. The biggest issue here is they do stand on each other's heads. They don't fall as fast as, like they don't fall horizontally as fast as they fall vertically, which would make sense. If they were, they'd probably go into orbit. Alright, well, I mean, like the mechanics of it seem to work. They're not going into destroy everything mode. It's still not, it's not quite as kind of crisp and as foolproof as I would kind of like it. So let's turn that, turn that eye off. You're a dexterous little fuck, aren't you? You got all the way across, you punch me right in the gob. Well, for that, I feel like you deserve something special. Let's grab out the old shotgun and just, you know, all the rest of these idiots are gonna get, like, exploded into non-existence. You are gonna cop a shotgun around right to the chin. Good job making it across, but I guess your reward wasn't quite what you were expecting. So that works reasonably well. I reckon I could probably make it better, though. So that's the design we're kind of starting with, and I'm trying to think about how I can use those steep wedge tips to a better advantage. And the first thing I'm thinking is that, like, it's that horizontal versus vertical issue. It's the fact that they can stand on each other's heads and then immediately try to jump to get back to my level, and they can kind of leapfrog their way across. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to get rid of all of this from there to there. I'm going to get rid of that whole kind of slip and slidey bit. All of it's going to go, and I'm going to extend it down out to here. So kind of a normal length of what we've done before. And hopefully, once I do that, that'll give me a little bit more room to work in, and I can kind of go ahead and make a slightly, maybe hopefully better iteration of the design. I don't know. I don't profess to knowing everything about this game. I might not be able to make it any better. We don't know. Maybe the design that I just had is the best possible version of this, but I don't feel like it's safe enough. There's still too many, I mean, there's only really a couple of zombies and 2 of them got across. In a horde, when you're distracted by other things, well, a couple of zombies getting across your defenses is a bad time for your bears. So we don't want that to happen again. So how am I going to do this? What's going to be the best way to get these Muppets to fall down without going into rage mode, but also have no chance of getting across? It's funny, you know, often I come into these episodes and I have like a plan in mind, I suppose. Like I know kind of what I'm going to do before I get there, which is why when something goes wrong, which it quite often does, I then kind of like stick to the same kind of idea I had and just try and tweak it a little bit until I get it to work. But in this case, I have no idea what the next stage of this is going to be. All I'm thinking at the moment though is making a killing corridor, because after all, a horde, the best part about the horde is all the experience you gather from murdering all the undead. So if you're not bothering to murder it, which is how this was described to me, you just like let the horde run in circles until it's the end of the night, then you clean up the scraps, and that's the end of the horde night, which sounds utterly boring. That doesn't sound like a great way to play the game at all. And it's like, I mean, look, clearly I cheese the AI quite regularly. I exploit the way that zombies think to my advantage, but that's cheesing it a little bit too much, I think. Like, you're taking away from actually playing the game and just making it so that you're making an AFK base. And if that's the way that you want to play, that is absolutely fine and dandy. I will not hold that against you at all. But that isn't the way that I want to play. I still want to actually kill the zombies, not just watch them run around like the most boring zombie go-kart race you've ever seen in your life. So let's cover it like this. Let's make our stairs, as we always do, get their entry point all sorted out, and then we can start working on the actual mechanics of it, the actual zombie drop, and see if, well, not zombie drop, so the zombie slide, I suppose. Well, that's a good name for it. The zombie slide. We can start working on the slide and see if we can give them the most rootin' tootin'est, funnest experience since I went to Luna Park back in '93. I'm going to start off with something like this, just your normal kind of trough drop that I got along here, the slot drop, whatever I called it, the zombie envelope, or whatever it was back when I built it the first time. I can't remember, I come up with so much stupid names for this stuff. I can't remember my own stupid names, but I'm going to start off with this and try to direct the zombie flow a little bit more. I'm trying to think of it like the zombies are a fluid, right? I'm pumping it through a pipe, and I need it to work the same way every time in a predictable manner, but then the couple little droplets that fly out and get like stuck to the mirror or your shirt or whatever, you know, when you're brushing your teeth, you get like little spots of toothpaste, then you have to go change your shirt, which is why you always brush your teeth with your shirt off. Anyway, we're getting too far off the track. But like, water is unpredictable, zombies are unpredictable, so I'm thinking maybe if I can control them a little bit better, I might stand a better chance of actually getting this to work the way I want. So it's 4 high, which means I need to start with not these ones, start with that one. We're going to start on the bottom. No, that's the wrong one. I've got the wrong slot. There we go. Let's start with you, and let's see if we can get it to go from maybe about there, I suppose. That seems like probably the best option to start with. We'll build you up like that. And this is going to be sold as well. Now, I know, look, I've got this whole thing here. This would work unto itself, but we're trying to stop them going into that rage mode. That is my main concern right now. Everything else is secondary to just stopping them from destroying stuff. Because if you're building this out of, I don't know, wood or concrete or something that's not quite as sturdy as straight up steel, I don't need those ones, then you're going to have some issues if they start going into destroy everything mode. So let's go like this. Put you there and put you up on the top there. Okay, so that's kind of my idea at the moment. So I get them falling into the middle to start with. So they come down here, they haven't fallen yet, and then onto this one. So it's kind of like, you know, the spiral slides you used to have back in the park when you were a kid. Now, like, a straight slide is great. It's good fun, but you know what's even cooler than a straight slide? A spiral slide. So I haven't quite got the spiral going, but we've got a change of direction, which I think is the most important first part. I could even go... you know what? I think just for like contingency's sake, maybe going the same on the other side over here probably isn't a bad shout. Oh, the willow. Let's go like that, put you there, and you go there as well. Get it all nice and lined up, get it all the same. Damn, that's the wrong side. On both sides. So that even if they do make it across there, if they manage to make it to this bit and get a little boost of traction, they're not going to make it too far across, and I'll still be safe on my little platform of dreams. I'm looking at this, and I'm starting to think that just like my pyramid stairs, maybe a pyramid slide is going to be a good option. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated. You've got to use a little bit more different blocks and use the corners for that kind of stuff, but it's still the same materials and still the same kind of idea, but it removes that kind of, like, rather than having a horizontal line that can land on and get some traction, there's a singular point. It's basically a black hole of zombie at the top, which are pretty unlikely to land on, and it will shoot them down either side. But let's give this one a crack first and foremost. I've also totally noticed that there's a bit more rambling this episode than normally is. That's because I don't have the plan that I normally have. This is more like a JaWoodle podcast than a normal, like, edited down episode. It's a little bit more open train of thought, so you can see how my ridiculous excuse for a goopy brain actually gets to the ideas that I come up with in the end. Alright, let's get some Chelseas out there. That's an awful lot of them, but why not? Let's just go big or go home. See what they're going to come up with this time. The pathing should work. That's the first test, and they seem to have no issues with that. Okay, what's going to happen here? Down. Okay, so they're getting... Oh, yep, see? Oh, that's what I was worried about. That little spot of traction right in the middle if they get a bit lucky and bounce off each other's heads. But so far... so good. I mean, there's nothing really happening here at all. I feel much safer with this one than I did with the last one. They're getting pushed down to the center faster, and then they're sliding down the other side. And I think, most importantly of all, I don't think that they're actually... Oh my god, what have I done? I can't get out of my body. I'm stuck inside my body. I need my out-of-body experience. There we go. Most importantly of all, they don't seem to be going into destroy everything mode. None of them have stopped to take a swing at any of my supports. I mean, I want to say that I've successfully achieved what I was aiming for here. Look, they're trying to jump up the slide. Or everyone knows that only the stupid bratty kids are trying to go up the slide and ruin everyone else's fun. But then look, they give up. Their parents yell at them, threaten them not to give a lollipop when they get home, and they go back the way they were supposed to go. So look, I mean, I can just sit back and relax. Oh, that was the closest we got. They came in pairs. They held each other's hands like girls going to the bathroom in high school. They always need to go in groups. They can't go by themselves because apparently there's a girl-eating monster between the classroom and the toilets. They held each other's hands, barreled down the corridor, and almost made it across. That's interesting. That's like the one weakness, but even so, even when they made it almost to my face on the other side, they still didn't quite get me. So, like, that's working fine. I mean, I'm going to work on a couple of other different designs, but at least we know, even on the first go, we've improved the design already. We've made it like an already kind of good idea and made it a foolproof idea. And that's what I'm here to do. I don't know what I'm here to do. Probably the most important aspect of this as well is that it gives you the normal corridor so that you actually have a chance to kill the zombies. You can sit up here. I mean, look, you probably made it a little bit longer. This is what, 8 wide, I think it is. I'll have to double check that in a second. You know, like, I can't want the shooting you all. Kill all and kill all to get rid of your bodies. How wide actually is this thing? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got like a 2 block gap on the bottom and a 4 by 2 slide on either side. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, look, it's not quite as attractive, I suppose, aesthetic as some of the other bases, but I'll be honest, that first one with like that big slopey pyramid right in the middle of a big triangle, that looked about as attractive as a big soggy ball sack right in the middle of your forehead. If you want to give yourself your old Nana's night mask all to yourself, then that's up to you. You know, like functionality over aesthetics. If that's the way you want to play, fucking go for it, mate. But I don't particularly like the look of a soggy ball sack in the middle of my forehead, so I want to make something a little bit more streamlined and a little bit nicer. That one is already, I think, not only a vast improvement on aesthetics, but also a vast improvement on zombie tricking performance, I suppose. We're giving the zombies a better slide, a more interesting slide, and they seem to love it a whole lot more. So with that one tested, I reckon we could put that away, put that one in the logbook and say, yes, sir, we have succeeded in building the thing we wanted to build. Let's move on to something bigger, better, and hopefully more fun. Let's get rid of you. Let's see if we can make a 4-way slide. Oh, hello, how you doing, love? Put one right into you. I really wish... I mean, part of the reason I want that fill tool, I know you guys have been wonderful, like, giving me suggestions for the fill tool using codes and stuff. I can't get the F block code to work, mate. That may only be for POI editing, maybe. I'm not sure. But I can't get it to work in my game at all. Look, I can't remember the codes right now, but I've tried it before. Copy and pasted the codes I got sent and it didn't work. There's also that random fill tool, which does kind of work, but I mean, it's just a little bit more tedious than I would like. So there are, like, solutions to it, but I'd love to, like, make, like, a wall. Like, I've got my gates kind of on the build over there. I need to finish those off at some point. Build a wall all the way along the road, out past the loop, up along the cliff. I've got like the nice like actual cliffs over there to protect me. Like, may actually close in the park. It wouldn't stop the screamers because they spawn in a little bit closer in, but I don't know. I feel kind of nice to have like an enclosed area being the park. But anyway, aside from that, let's not get distracted by other projects when I'm in the middle of a different one. How are we going to do this? Let's get these corner blocks. That one goes there and like that. No, damn it, put that one in the wrong spot. You and there and there. Okay, that just goes like that. And yeah, just using, what are these blocks called? There's wedge steep corner top and wedge steep corner base. So that makes a little bit of sense. You can probably put 2 and 2 together and figure out how they're supposed to put together. It's not that complicated of a jigsaw, just like that. And then down the bottom here, we're gonna have to do the same again, but remember we have to put the normal wedges in the middle there. So if we get like a nice pyramid going here, hopefully that'll give us a little bit more leeway on the zombies. I mean, the last design worked perfectly well, but hopefully this way will just make them work a little bit more reliably without the occasional little couple of zombies holding hands and hop, skipping and jumping across the top. Because look, instead of having that whole bar right across the middle there, they now have this one right in the center. However, oh, hang on. Hang on a second, Jeffrey. This may be worse. I don't know. I may have stumbled across the best method the first time around, because now look, they've got like, it's a wider area for them to stand on, because like this from like here to here, in fact, I've got a better way to show you. Boom. No. Yep. Just like that. There we go. So that area there now counts as them actually having traction, because they get kind of pinned between the wall at the spike at the top and the wall on the sides. Ooh, okay, interesting. This is why you have to test stuff. Just because it works in your head doesn't mean it's going to work in the actual game, Josh. Sometimes you actually have to make good on your promises and build shit and make it work properly. We won't know until we finish this off. So let's go like full Tutankhamun and make ourselves a little tomb over here. But this time it's a tomb for the zombies and not me. Man, ancient Egypt would be a bad place for a zombie apocalypse. I mean, they're talking about graveyards having zombies rising from the dead and all that kind of stuff. Imagine like all the old pharaohs barreling their way out of the Valley of the Kings and coming and wrecking shop in Cairo. That would be well, I guess the zombie apocalypse wouldn't be great by anyone's measure, but that in particular would be a little bit more scary. Just like pimping decked out zombies in full gold headdress. That would be interesting. I decided I liked that pyramid analogy so much, I now painted my pyramid to look like a pyramid. I couldn't actually find anything in here that was sand colored. I got like concrete mustard and all sorts of other gross colors. I really wish there was a proper painting palette in this. Give me some decent textures to like be creative with. Let me make it look the way it does in my head. But the closest I could find that even slightly resembled the sandstone steps, well, I guess the marble steps? Oh no, they're sandstone, aren't they? I think the pyramids with a marble cap. I can't really remember. My history knowledge is letting me down. But the closest thing I could get to you know, be reminiscent of the yellow steps that make up the pyramid is this wood siding yellow, which from a distance, I mean, it's not that bad, actually. It didn't turn out that bad at all. So there we go. We've got a pyramid of fun time for the zombies down in the middle down there. Let's get our always friendly Chelsea. Let's get a bunch of you out there. Get your attention. All right, what are you guys going to do this time? Up the steps like, no, oh, where are you going? You're going the wrong way. And down and... Oh, okay, it's already not working quite as smoothly as just the ramp did before, the back-to-back triangle ramp. I mean, the silhouette is the same, but functionally it seems to go a little bit different. Let's get a whole, let's like try and overload it with even more Chelseas. Please don't crash the game though. That would be a real bad time. Can I get my actual guy back? There we go. All right, make sure I've got all their attention. Oh, yep, that's a proper herd of Chelseas right there. How they're going to go? Anyone pairing up to go to the toilet? Doesn't look like it. They're all kind of running in single file, which is kind of nice. However, they're lingering down the bottom a little bit more than I would like. They're not going into destroy everything mode still, because I don't actually have a proper drop. But they're still like, you know, taking a couple swings here and there and getting stuck more than I would like. Okay. Look, listen, I still think it's better than that first design. It's not as good as the next design I made with, I need to think of like the TP, I suppose, in the middle. This is more of a TP and pyramid. I don't know. I need to think of a name. The zombie slide, the second one I made, with just the two slides like back to back. Oh man, yeah, I need to come up with a way to name some stuff better, the more memorable way, because I'm forgetting my own shit now. This is getting embarrassing. All right, let's kill all of you. Oh, how can I make this better? How can I improve on this even further? I was talking about a spiral slide a second ago. Maybe I try a spiral slide. I don't think adding extra turns is going to give us any extra benefit, but we're kind of on the right track. As much as I kind of do really want to build a spiral slide, I don't think it's going to work out very well. So I'm going to try one other thing that's kind of playing on my mind a little bit, and I think hopefully it'll work out pretty well if I can get it to build the way it looks in my head, which is always the biggest challenge. No, that was the wrong block. See, I've already fucked it up. Got 2 seconds into the build and I already cooked one of the blocks. Get you and put you down there. So you can probably already tell what I'm doing. I'm thinking if I just make like one big slide that goes all the way from one side all the way down to the other end, the zombies will kind of run off over the edge and kind of just take that slide all the way down and then go and turn and come back the other way. It's kind of this one, but also like the exact opposite of that first redesign I made. So rather than like this that I had, having it like that. But I'll do that one in a second. A nice big V cut instead of a cut, I suppose. I don't know. What, W, I suppose, because there's like walls like this. I don't know. Letters are difficult. I need to go back to kindergarten and learn my ABC again, because I am struggling to remember what letters actually look like right now. Grab you and paint all of this one. Okay. Well, let's keep on digging this one down. We'll go all the way down to like a trench. We'll go 1, 2, we'll go out like 1, 2, 3, 4 out to there, and we'll go down 1, 2, 3. I think that should be enough from there. 1, 2, 3, 4 out to that one. There we go. Get ourselves a nice little easy trench. So if I put them all down to there and I give them a way out that way, it's kind of just like corralling the zombies a little bit more. This is going to be like, it's going to be a gunfight at the top, not in the corral. corral down the bottom. I am not wired up as much as I wish I was that cool. I may have gone a little bit overboard on this one, I think. I mean, the second, or the first redesign that I did, the second base that I tested, worked so well that, I mean, the possible payoff for the amount of work that would have been to dig that, like, properly and without using my tools and all that kind of stuff, that definitely, I don't think the payoff would be worth it. You're not going to get that much of an increase in performance for all the work it took to do this. So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know how it's going to go, but the idea here is clearly that they've got one long slide all the way down. I could have just stopped it at ground level, but my issue there was going to be that they might have just cleared the whole thing and not landed on the ramp at all. So I've given them a little bit more extra space to land, I suppose. I've gone all the way down to the halfway mark. I could then also make another side on the other side, go all the way down and meet them in the middle, but they're going to get caught in the gooch of the base, and they're going to get stuck down there, and they're going to have to go, like, send the whole base for a shower and make sure they clean between the cheeks. Alright, here we go. Let's get a couple of Chelseas out there. Let's get their attention. How is this going to go? I don't think well, but we'll see what happens. They've gone straight into the ditch, which is not what I wanted them to do. They're going up, they're going up, they're going all... Yep, okay. See, that's why I had to extend it down to the dirt. Oh, I love it. My gut feeling said I should extend it down to the deck, and I didn't know why I wanted to do that, but it turns out it was the right freaking idea, because them landing on that little slope down the bottom there, them landing like they're coming down onto a skate ramp and not breaking their ankles, means they don't get pissed off, and they don't go into destroy everything mode, even though you could probably argue they are getting some hang time there. There's probably one or two blocks that they're clearing, but it doesn't seem to register in the zombies' AI that they are actually in the air. So now, when I thought this was... Oh, God, she made a good run of it. Now, I thought this wasn't going to be very... Hey, what are you doing down there? Yeah, you better run. Well, I didn't think this was going to be a very good payoff. Wasn't going to be worth it. I now think that maybe it is, because this could be, like, in a very specific circumstances. This could be very, very useful for your base. If you wanted something a little bit bigger than just the regular killing corridor, and you could probably line the walls down there with traps or shotgun turrets or whatnot, you could do a whole... Or even you could sit down there in your own little bunker and just rail on all the zombies that show up down the bottom and give them a nice open path over the top to get down to you so they can still continue to make the corridor run. I actually don't hate that, you know. It's reminiscent of some of the old medieval castles with their moats and like drawbridges and stuff like that, having like the sunk-in kind of defense mechanisms, because after all, terrain defenses are super viable defenses if you're ever trying to bunker down. That's actually surprised me with how well that's worked. All right, well, let's see if we can overload it, as we always do. Get you going. Get out of that, please. I always press too many buttons, and I can't control my guy anymore. Boom, get their attention. Here come all the Chelseas. How's this gonna go? I'm super impressed that them just like landing on the slope down the bottom stops their rage mode. That could come in handy for a lot of other things. Interesting. Like maybe we can take that idea and put it into a regular killing corridor, which is kind of what we did for the first iteration of it, with just like that kind of A-frame in the middle of it. It's just a normal killing corridor with like somewhere for them to land. But if we put something just like a little bit of landing area, a little landing strip for Chelsea down the bottom there, because who doesn't love a good landing strip, maybe we can like undo their programming of going into destroy everything mode. Interesting. That's some interesting results right there. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I dug this giant hole. Just that one piece of information. Armed with this new knowledge, I'm going to come over here and see if I can get this, which is just a bog standard, like, default killing corridor template. You know, nothing special here, just a long line and a simple drop. And I'm going to see if I can use this to hopefully get the that drop mechanic to work in my favor in a different way. So if I just put this on the bottom down here like that, let's get it lined up in the middle. Let's just go all the way across. We're reducing our HORDE a little bit, but that's okay. I don't know where the zombies are actually going to land, so we're going to need all the extra space we can get, and flip it around to the other side as well. If I just put a that's the wrong one. If I just put a tiny little kind of triangle of blocks down the bottom here, can I get the zombies to land on that and not go into rage mode? Oh, that's already the right way. All the way across there, like that one. There we go. I mean, the kind of only issue here that I can foresee is they might land right on the nipples. They might land right on the dick up the top here, right like that, and just like landing on a rail when you're skating, your legs go either side, they're gonna land on that, the legs are gonna slide, and they're gonna get basically sliced in half like a knife through butter, like a spike through a zombie. It's gonna like basically put them into two, and they're gonna have like some steel wedge right up in between their ribs. But that's their problem. That sounds like a them problem and not a me problem. So if I just have something as simple as that, is that going to stop them going into destroy everything mode? Let's get their attention. Let's get out of my body and see how we go. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Does this, can it be replicated in other bases? You know, I think it can. That seemed to work pretty bloody well. She's got into destroy everything mode because she got annoyed by how long she had to run back. I understand, sweetheart. A long run is nobody's idea of a good time. And if it is your idea of a good time, then, well, I mean, I'm not going to say anything because it's going to be mildly insulting. But so far, so good. Let's get some more Chelseas out there. Go like that. Let's get that going and then that going. No, damn it, I did the wrong thing again. There we go. There we go. Shoot the gun, get them running. How's that gonna go? So far, they're landing on that knife's edge pretty well. Interesting, interesting. Okay, so we can definitely use this to kind of remove the chance that we're going to destroy everything mode later on, because it seems to be working pretty bloody well. A couple of them have gone into destroy. It's not working as well as that one over there did. It's definitely not stopping them completely, but I feel like it's a lower percentage than it used to be. All right, let's stop this. Get rid of all these guys. Remove that slope at the bottom and run a control test to see how it goes without all that in the way. If I don't need to get rid of all the Chelseas, I can just get rid of all of this and run it again. There we go. All the blocks are gone. Get their attention again. Press the button for the AI. All right, let's see if they go into more of a destroy everything mode now than they used to. We've already got 1 and 2 and a bunch of others actually. Yeah, so we've already got way more now than we ever had when we didn't have that little like landing ramp. Okay, good. So we now know another little way to control the AI, bend it to our will just that little bit more. I'm happy with that. That makes it all worthwhile to me. I mean, I don't care if the base I come in to design works as is. I care about if I can find something that I can use for something else. Like when I found out that garage doors are apparently the greatest thing this game has ever had. I found that out by accidentally making a base one time and just kind of tinkering with stuff and learning. So now we've learned this. Look, we've got way more zombies trying to break shit. So I reckon it's pretty safe to say that, I mean, not this one in particular, this is just kind of an iteration of it. I think that A-frame for like cost versus performance, like the efficiency of it, I think that first A-frame design was the best one. But there you go. I mean, we can definitely use that going into bases later on. Just gotta make sure that we can find a way to make it look as nice as possible, which is kind of where this one comes in. Even though it's more effort, I feel like this is more aesthetically pleasing than the other one was, and kind of opens up more opportunities for other things as well down the road. But I'll have to come back and figure out some more things down the road in another episode, because this episode is done. So thank you guys for watching. Most of all, thank you to all the patrons on Patreon who made this episode possible. If you liked, smash the like button down below and subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter. If I don't talk to you there first, I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.